Hey guys, last week I didn't get to do any videos. My haul was 17 books, and this week is a mere 14 books, which is, both of those are huge for me. I really, for a long while, was like a 7 to 9 book a week person, and then started doing some 12 issue weeks, and now 14 books after 17 books, and I think the week before that was like 13. Is this getting out of control? Is there just too many good books out there? So let me let me show you what I got. Okay, Hellboy and the BP. Whoops, that's not Hellboy and the BP. That's Rat God. Hellboy and the BPRD was the cover on the back. That's the ad. Rat God, pretty ugly looking cover. But it's Richard Corbin, and I've got to see what Richard Corbin is up to. Yeesh, this guy's not only a monster to begin with, but has half his face burnt off, I guess. Not a pretty cover. But it could be quite cool. And Annihilator, which is our indie version of Grant Morrison. I've really been digging this. I think this is the penultimate issue, so I'm very excited to be reading that. And then Hellboy and the BPRD number 3. That's a nice cover. I like those colors. So far this has been kind of just okay for me, kind of a flat kind of thing. That Hellboy hasn't done a whole lot or even said a whole lot. So it's maybe a little too chill, a little too of a kind of stoic book. There's always kind of a held back stoicness to a lot of the Mignola books that I've read. But this, I don't know. I'm waiting for a little more here. I want a little more meat on the bone on there. Lady Killer. This is another great cover. I really, really enjoyed issue number 1 of Lady Killer. It may or may not. Some people have suggested that it's got the exact same plot as Jennifer Blood. I've never even looked at a Jennifer Blood comic, so I can't say for sure. But, that aside, this, number 1 was really great. I'm really looking forward to number 2. Really nice to see a very good artist who is a good writer also. I think she might have a co-writer on it, Jamie S. Rich. But, yeah, it's surely mostly a Joelle Jones show. And New Futures End, my favorite DC series at the moment, so looks like another cool issue. Witches. Will the art drive us insane? Not the art, but the coloring. Or will they get it under control? That's the big mystery about this issue. But I'm looking forward to it. It's a very solid horror book. And Saga 25. Saga 24 doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but I guess they took a hiatus. And it was a really great issue. So I'm hoping for more. And I love that it's a wraparound cover. I love those. Ms. Marvel always has good covers. Looking forward to that. So many good comics. You can cut out all the bad comics and still have a huge pile of comics these days. Swamp Thing. Maybe my stack will get smaller with attrition, although I have a feeling more good stuff will come up. Swamp Thing's only got this issue and then one more issue after it, and then we're free of Swamp Thing, sadly. But expecting great things from that too. Grayson, an excellent series. Hopefully it won't be hurt by Convergence or anything. All good things come to an end, but I'm looking forward to Grayson having a good run with this creative team. I see that it's not the usual artist, though. Mooney is, I guess, the artist rather than, what was his name? One of my favorite artists, and DC artists, can't remember his name. Speaking of DC, Grant Morrison and Chris Burnham, not doing Batman Incorporated, but instead doing the Nameless with these very astronauts with the weird symbols and interesting crotch areas. But so 2 Grant Morrison books this week. A giant Multiversity last week was like 70 pages. 70 pages of wholesome fun. Okay, so I expect to love almost every one of these comics. I don't expect to love Batman Eternal. I hope for a decent issue. Actually, last issue was very good. It was written, it had a great artist, David LaFuentes, and it was written by James Tynion, who, of all the writers involved here, seems to put the most effort, the most passion into his issues. And I believe that I saw that this issue is actually scripted by Ray Fox, who may be the second best after Tynion of the regular writers here, not counting Scott Snyder, who hasn't written an issue since the beginning. But Ray Fox, to me, is kind of a workman-like writer, so my best hope is that he sort of continues what Tynion was doing last issue. But I don't know. We'll see. He may switch us back to the Spectre story, or I don't know. Is the Spectre story all done? Pretty much. Birthright. Okay. Psyched for Birthright. Back to the ones that I'm psyched for. This is issue 5. Issue 4 was a little bit of a slowing down of the intensity of Birthright from the previous issues, but it ended on a cliffhanger where it looked like we were about to have a big fight with a sorcerer, and maybe have some revelations where maybe the brother of the Conan-like character and his father might come to doubt whether he's the good guy or not. I don't know whether they'll see that. And finally, this used to be on my pull, and I guess I dropped it at the exact same time they stopped producing it. And so now issue 5 is finally out, like, I think a year later. And enough time has passed in which I'm kind of curious about it again, so I decided to pick it up. I haven't put it on my pull or anything, but a new issue of Egos, which is kind of a far future science fiction with superheroes story. A little bit like an adult, a very cynical adult version of the Legion of Superheroes in a way, done with a little bit of a more modern, European-ish kind of art style. So, yeah, very curious about that. Looks like something bloody happens, judging from the cover. No, I got 13 comic books. None of them are ones that are great to read with my daughter. Nothing came out this week that is daughter-friendly. Although I almost bought the Simpsons comics. But she only likes it when it's Lisa Simpson, and I don't think it was going to be a lot of Lisa Simpson. Or I might buy it later on sale. So she's kind of been up and down on Simpson comics. But I was hoping that there'd be something else out for her this week. Because she is getting more and more into comics. So, and there have been, in the 3 years that I've been trying to find comics to read with my daughter, there have been some major improvements. But I'm hoping for more good kids comics to come out. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.